Morning tātou. Thank you for joining me this morning for this 8 a.m. update on Tuesday the 31st of January. This morning I am joined by, again, Roger Ball, our Acting Director of Civil Defence and Emergency Management, and I also have Ron Devlin, our Regional Manager from Fire and Emergency New Zealand. As you know, this is a weather event that's affecting communities right across the North Island, so Roger will be providing a bit of an update around that national picture, and also again how our National Emergency Management Agency has been assisting us and will continue to assist Aucklanders through this response. Really pleased to say that overnight we've had no reports of habitable floor impacts, floors being flooded in houses. We did receive about 126 requests for service, but 47% of those were in the north, 45 the central and 7 in the south, but again, most of those related to issues outside of buildings, so we didn't have any habitable building flooding events. So it was a quieter night, I think, for all of our emergency services. One of the things that's changed since I last gave you an update is that last night the service extended the timing of the severe weather warnings that we have in place. So bringing the red warning forward. So Auckland, north of Orewa, has a red heavy rain warning starting today at 4 p.m. and running through to tomorrow, Wednesday at 7 a.m. We can expect 80 to 120 millimetres of rain about the ranges, with lesser amounts about the coast, with the potential for peak rates of 10 to 20 mils per hour, mainly about the ranges, but localised areas may still see downpours and thunderstorms are also possible. Auckland, south of Orewa and Great Barrier Island has an orange rain warning from 6 p.m. today through to 9 a.m. tomorrow, Wednesday. This rain is expected to cause dangerous river conditions and significant flooding. Slips and floodwaters are likely to disrupt travel, making some roads impassable and possibly isolating communities. From 2 p.m. today through to 8 a.m. tomorrow, a strong wind watch is also in place. This could lead to impacts on the Auckland Harbour Bridge, so people need to factor that into their travel planning. And it could also lead to trees toppling. So with the ground conditions so sodden, this makes ripe conditions for trees to come over when wind yields pick up. Just before I move on, I think this is a good time just to check in with Roger around the current national picture.
Sure, thanks Rachel. Morning tātou, Roger Ball from the National Emergency Management Agency. As the controller for Auckland has told or reminded us, we have a severe red warning for Auckland, but we're also facing a red warning for Northland, and heavy rain is falling there now. We also have a red warning for the Coromandel. So as these systems move through, we are asking the public to please pay attention to weather reports. Please pay attention to the public safety messages being put out by your local civil defence and emergency management groups, and follow them on their social media channels and listen to radio for updates. I think as we go through this, it's important to remember that there are people already affected by this severe weather, and I just want to acknowledge that they are in a difficult situation. Some people are out of their homes, some people are facing significant damage and cleanup. We just want to acknowledge that and thank the community for getting in behind them to support them. The National Emergency Management Agency is ensuring that we're putting in our support to Auckland. At this time we have more than a dozen staff here already, including from the National Emergency Management Agency and also the New Zealand Emergency Management Assistance Team. Our National Coordination Centre below the beehive, sometimes known as the bunker, continues to be fully staffed and will be operating through this period. We also operate a 24/7 watch and warn centre called Monitoring, Alerting, Reporting Centre, and they are engaged at the moment with Northland and connected to what's going on here in Auckland, and will be providing advice to the National Emergency Management Agency as the effects roll through. So thank you for that, and happy to answer any questions once Rachel's finished.
Thanks, Roger. And just in that vein of preparedness and where we're currently at in terms of our response, I will also hand now to Ron with Fire and Emergency New Zealand, just to talk to us about sort of how his team's been going and what they're expecting over the next day or two.
Thank you, Rachel. Morena, Tanaka Katoa. Firstly, I would just like to acknowledge the communities that have been impacted, particularly those people who have lost loved ones. Our thoughts of Fire and Emergency are with you, particularly during this time, which becomes difficult as we start to prepare for what may well be coming again tonight. I'd also like to shout out to our firefighters and support staff in Fire and Emergency, who many of them are selflessly, or they have damage to their own properties, are still cleaning up and engaging and responding to the community's needs. While we did have a quiet night last night with respect to weather emergencies, we're still responding in our business as usual and involving car accidents and fires and the like. Fire and Emergencies continue to work closely with Auckland Emergency Management, both responding in the weekend severe events and in preparation for what is expected to come through in the coming hours and days. We have brought forward two urban search and rescue teams, one from Christchurch and one from Wellington Palmerston North, in support of that. And those teams have been working with the council engineers, doing rapid building assessments, and as of the close of business yesterday, they completed 657, of which over 200 have been red stickers. So that gives you an idea of the damage to buildings across the community there. Other priorities that we're involved in obviously is preparing and making sure we are ready for what's going on. And as part of that, we have sent urban search and rescue teams north to Northland to support firefighters up there, as there's a predicted heavy rain warning up to that place as well. So what I would also like to just finish off with just saying, to give assurances to Aucklanders that we're at full strength and full readiness and able to help should you have to call 111 for support in fire and emergency. Thank you.
So I'm now going to move on just to some information around some other aspects of service for this that have experienced the damage of this event. With respect to waste, the Auckland Emergency Management website, aem.org.nz, has information on waste collection options. And I'm going to give you a quick summary of what those are. We now have 9 facilities across the region that Aucklanders can access to dispose of storm damaged material free of charge if they're unable to cover the cost of this either themselves directly or through their insurers. We are asking that you work with those we are working with private operators to make 8 more facilities available. 28 skip bins have been delivered to communities who have reached out to us with a need, with more suburbs being assessed. So we have skip bins through many streets in Mamari, Milford and Sunnyside. These skip bins are being delivered to areas where we have a coordinated community need, and we're working with groups of residents to bring these bins in quickly and to take them away quickly. So where there is a community group stood up needing those bins, they can get in touch with us and we can work with them to come up with a solution that fits their circumstance. Please note those skips may come in and go out quickly, so connecting in with those community groups will know the details of those arrangements. If you need a skip bin at an individual level or some other support of waste assistance, then please contact 0800 22 2200 to register the need for your area. Besides delivering skip bins, contractors have also been picking up waste from Browns Bay, Milford and Ranui. Approximately 16 truckloads have been sent to landfill from these areas, and contractors will be working in other parts of Auckland today based on need. To date, 58 tonnes of storm and flood waste has been dropped off at our Waitakere transfer station. A gentle reminder that if you are needing waste assistance, either to access a transfer station or as a community collective to access a skip bin, to please call that 0800 22 2200 number. That way we can enable your access through the respective transfer station smoothly and make sure that they don't get overwhelmed. It's also really important that, that anything that you're taking to those facilities doesn't include hazardous material. So that's standard with waste disposal practice. And again, you can get information about what that looks like through the website information. We also have the New Zealand Defence Force out on the ground helping with clean-up today. With respect to our community support, in terms of our information hubs and civil defence centres, we've had a changed location for our Mangere Centre. So the pop-up community and agency information hub will change location today from the Mangere Memorial Hall to Moana Kiwa Pool and Leisure Centre, which is at 66 Mascot Avenue, Mangere, Auckland. And that will be open from 8 AM until 8 PM for any members of that community that need assistance or linking into other support services. I did mention yesterday that we've had some amazingly generous offers of support and donations from the community, with people bringing a whole range of things into our civil defence centres for those that have been impacted by the flood, displaced from their homes. We just really wanted to say thank you for everyone's care and support at this time. At the moment, the civil defence centres cannot accept any more donated goods. So we would kindly just ask that if you have something that you would like to offer up to those that have been affected, that you link in with local community initiatives in your area, food banks, some of our outstanding community groups, rather than bring them into the civil defence centres, because it's really important that we try and match where the needs are to where those donations are coming from. So just moving now on to those civil defence centres, those who need to evacuate and cannot stay with friends or whānau can go to a civil defence centre or phone us directly, again on that 0800 22 2200 number. So you don't have to go to a civil defence centre to access support for temporary accommodation if you need to evacuate or you've had to leave your home suddenly. The locations of our current civil defence centres are as follows. A good reminder, if you are looking to go to one of those centres, to bring any essential items you might need, so medication, clothing, baby items, comfort items. Those are at St Leonard's Road School, 15 St Leonard's Road, Kelston, Massey University Albany Campus, Sir Neil Walters Lecture Theatre, Massey University East Precinct, accessed via the Albany Expressway State Highway 17, Manutukutuku 32 Rickerton Drive, Randwick Park. We do have the ability to stand up additional civil defence centres if needed, and that need obviously will be assessed as we move through the next weather event. Our latest numbers are that 82 people stayed overnight in those 3 civil defence centres. We have our iwi liaisons reaching out to all marae and iwi in the region to identify any unmet needs that they might have. 7 marae have been activated and are providing support with accommodation and food within their communities. Just a quick note now around transport. With the expected high winds, as I've already mentioned, there is a possibility that there will be impacts to the Auckland Harbour Bridge. So both potential reductions in speed limits or also possible closures. So please check the Auckland Transport website throughout the day for regular updates on road closures and public transport as the weather system moves through. Auckland Transport is urging Aucklanders, as you would expect, to take extreme care while travelling and to consider whether travel is necessary, and remembering that journeys are likely to take longer than they usually would, and to plan your journey before you leave home. I think one of the things that that has been experienced for some of the roading areas is quite a dynamic situation, in that crews are working hard to get things open, but then we are having more issues. Sometimes a little bit of rain is causing some further damage. So we have got openings, closings, reopenings happening in some places. So again, just that important message around keeping up to date with the latest information via the Auckland Transport website. Auckland Airport is now fully operational for both the international and domestic terminals. And while the domestic terminal is operating as usual, there is reduced capacity at Auckland International Terminal, which is just impacting some flights and passengers needing to stay longer than perhaps they expected to. Red Cross disaster welfare support teams, though, have been working closely with the airport and providing assistance at the international airport and via our civil defence centres to accommodate people that have been there and need something a little bit more comfortable for an overnight stay. That includes stretchers supplied and transport where they needed to move between the two different sites. We understand though that the flight schedule looks like it's sort of getting close to back up to normal levels. It's just a quick supply around water. So significant progress was made yesterday resolving water supply issues in West Auckland. However, customers living in the wider Te area are asked to be prepared for intermittent water supply issues over coming days, while damage is being, there is still damage there that crews are working to fix, which means that they will need to sort of isolate the water supply at different times in localised areas. Tankers are in West Auckland providing emergency water, with the locations being shared on the Watercare website and social media. So if you're unable to reach tankers though, please call again 0800 2222 00 for assistance, and we can work with you to make sure that you have a clean drinking water supply. Just really reinforcing that number, that is the one-stop shop for all ranges of welfare assistance, whether it's water, whether it's accommodation, or other forms of support. As of 8 p.m. last night, our building assessment numbers are, and with grateful support from Ron's team at FENS, 78 red placards have been issued for buildings, 319 yellow and 748 white placards. Our building assessments are being scaled up today, so these numbers are expected to change quite rapidly. And we, in talking to our building team, Ian, who's been standing alongside me this week, we are hoping, or his team are hoping, that they will have got pretty much close to the inspection program by the end of this week. If you are concerned about your home or building and you haven't yet been visited by one of our building inspection teams, and would like to just make sure that that's on our radar or being checked, then again, same number, 0800 2222 00. Just summing up now, I think I've gone over that number a number of times. That is really the place to go for information or to report any range of issues. Just a couple of other small things. We've had, I guess, some queries about where to report problems that are sort of infrastructure related, things like blocked pipes, manholes off, those sorts of things. They can come through Council's reported problem website. If you are concerned about a landslip affecting your property or another area of Auckland, then the best option for that is to come through our Auckland Council call centre. And that is the end of the information I have to share this morning, so thank you for that. If there's any questions, then we've got a few minutes to take them.
Do we have a list of the 25 suburbs you mentioned that we'll be getting?
That's right. So we talked earlier in the week about our building inspection team's initial assessment being that around 25 suburbs have been affected. I don't have that list on hand, but I will make sure that our public information management team gets that list to you. What I can say is, as I've said previously, is that the impacts are being seen right throughout the Auckland region, north, south, west and central, so that list is quite extensive.
So the main areas to watch out for there is north of Auckland.
So the red weather warning has been issued for north of Orewa, and orange for the remainder of the Auckland region. I think the key thing there though is both of those warnings, obviously red is there's a level of gravity there, it's slightly different from orange, but both of those could cause problem for Aucklanders. So I don't want people thinking that because we've got a red north of Orewa and orange elsewhere that only people up north need to be concerned. I think the key thing is everyone needs to be vigilant. Stay home if you can, keep an eye on the weather conditions if you're going to be out there on the road, and just make good decisions. If at any point in time people feel that they're at risk, then the first port of call is our emergency services 111. No further questions? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.